Hey there guys, this is Robin Hood, and today I'm bringing you another 2 versus 2 battle here in Total War Rome 2. Today we are going to be looking at a fight in the desert, and our opponents are going to be O Christian, who is Parthia, and Lightning Strike playing as Epirus. I'll be playing as Carthage, and Arcane will be playing as Pontus in this battle. But this is going to be a rather interesting one. This map is actually very varied. You've got some forests here and some sand dunes over here, and trust me, these are some massive sand dunes. And then the weather is actually going to be an interesting factor in this game too, and I will let you guys see what that is here in a second. And here we are, and you guys can see it is not a sunny day here. It is the middle of a sandstorm, and we knew this would inhibit view a little bit, but it actually ended up, I mean, you really can't see all that far. Not quite as bad as fog, a little bit more interesting. But you can see once again this map, there's trees back in here, and these sand dunes are no small matter. This is quite an interesting aspect of this battlefield, and it's more on my side over here. It's decently flat, where Arcane is going to be fighting Lightning Strike, who is over here as Epirus. But basically my army, if you guys saw my video a while back on a Carthaginian rush army, this is very similar to that one, just mildly altered. I have 3 Libyan peltists here, and this was because my opponent playing as Parthia, I figured he'd have cataphracts, and he actually has an elephant unit back there. We'll get to his army in a second though. I've got 2 African pikemen, 4 Libyan infantry, and a mercenary Gallic warrior. I've got an elephant of my own, African war elephants there, and 4 Carthaginian cavalry, 2 on this flank, 2 over here with my general, who is a noble cavalry. Then I have got 3 of these late Libyan hoplites, almost said 4 there. And these guys, you can see I deployed them out in front of my cavalry. The reason for that is, look at their bonus versus large there on the left, 25. These guys are dangerous in a cavalry fight. Now, they're not going to kill cavalry quickly, but if my cav gets in a fight with these Parthian cavalry and these spears get in there, it's bad news in a prolonged fight. Now my opponent's army, he's got an eastern cataphract there, backed up by 2 noble blood cavalry. You already saw his Indian war elephant. For skirmishing, he's got 5 eastern slingers, so he's got more skirmishing than me, for sure. Mine is more damaging, but he's definitely got the numbers there. And then he's got an interesting setup here. He's got 5 of these eastern spearmen, and these guys really are not a good unit. My sword infantry will cut through these guys. My elephants would as well. He's also got this mercenary hoplite and then more cavalry over here. He's got a 2nd Indian war elephant, and 2 eastern cataphracts and a noble horse archer. So really what his army here is banking on, and I'm gonna pause this for a second, this is a very quick battle. He's banking on his spears just kind of holding me down while his cavalry and elephants do the damage and his skirmishers there. So those infantry units are not there to actually be a killing force. Out here, just quickly over the Pontic army, there are 5 eastern slingers up front, 2 bronze shield pikemen, looks like 5 Pontic swordsmen, 2 hoplites in the back, and then for cavalry, they're way back here. Noble blood cavalry, and it looks like 5 of them actually. So a lot of cav there, and Epirus has got some mercenary Italian cavalry. That's 3 units of them. A Hellenic Royal Guard, 2 of those guys. 2 more Hellenic Royal Guard here, and a lot of skirmishing. He's got 4 javelin men in the back, and what was 4 archers up front. You can see the slingers making quick work of the archers there. But back to my flank, my opponent is immediately going to start trying to wrap around my left. Now, I do have cavalry, enemy cav on my right, but these Parthian cavalry are better than mine. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to screen my right flank with these pikemen, and once again, that's their purpose in this build. Not actually to fight, just to kind of block off areas. While I bring more of my cavalry over here, I have got my peltists firing at these elephants. You can see them sucking up that fire there. And now we're starting to take them down. And they are quickly going to run amok here. He is getting a decent bit of kills on the back of my late Libyan hoplites here, though. But my Carthaginian cavalry is stopping this noble blood cav. The noble blood cavalry is better, but in a prolonged fight here, since I do have spear units in the fight, that is going to help me out. Now, these eastern cataphracts very dangerous, and those elephants were. Now they are running away there. But this cav fight is going to start turning in my favor just through numbers, and I'm going to start flanking. These elephants came back from routing here. Meanwhile, my army, he actually withdrew the rest of his army, which, in my opinion, was a bad move. Had he pressed my front and started wrapping around my right flank with this cavalry and elephant unit, there wouldn't have been that much I could do. But he wants to use his skirmishers rather than a quick attack. And so he's just going to back off and stay away from my infantry, because right now this portion of my army can quickly kill his central unit. Over here, these three elephant units, well, these three elephants actually are going to run back and get into my peltists, and look at these guys. They're routing with 70 men left. The scare factor on these elephants, they're not even doing that much damage, and I charged in my general to just finish these guys off because they've got little to no hit points left. But look at this unit, Libyan peltist, 77 men. I even did a raise the banner on them, or a rally, and they're just going to leave the battlefield here with 76 men left. So, you know, those elephants, the scaring ability of them can do a lot of damage. But now over here, this one peltist unit with 70 men is going to come back. I've got another one with 74. Sadly, those 76 men, they would have come back, but they're too close to the edge of the map here. But I'm wrapping around with my cavalry. I have got the spears I wanted in this fight, and I am going to clean up this flank of cavalry there, just through numbers and surrounding. So now my forces are quickly going to have to come this way. My opponent's starting to press on this flank a little bit. They ran up their eastern slingers. We're trying to get some shots on my elephants. It's not going to risk it, though, because of my infantry there. And here, I'm trying to just maneuver to block these cavalry. He's getting some good shots with his noble horse archers. Over this way, you can see all my men trying to move back. This one unit of noble blood cavalry came back from routing, so I'm sending a Carthaginian cavalry back to kill them. My opponent hasn't noticed them, but even this little bit of men, at the right point, if they charged correctly, could do some damage. Now here, these eastern cataphracts actually get a charge into my general. That was a mistake on my part. I couldn't have avoided the charge, but I could have gotten a charge in return. But I am quickly going to surround these cataphracts and get spears into the fight here. And now here comes round 2 of these Indian war elephants. Now pikes are a unit that can very easily deal some damage to these elephants, and I'm going to try and block them a little bit here. I'm actually not going to succeed in that. You can see he's just going to run through my pikes. They didn't get their pikes down. Over here, this eastern cataphract is being routed, though, and I am charging with a Carthaginian cavalry just to try to hold these elephants here. At this point, I've got some peltists firing in as well. Now, quick look over here at this side of the battle. Basically, what's been happening, Arcane has won the skirmish for the most part. There are still some javelin men back here, and these guys are going to do damage to these Pontic swordsmen. Here, these Hellenic Royal Guard do not have pikes out. These Pontic swordsmen are going to do well in that fight, and there is a pike engagement in the front. These hoplites getting killed over here. But basically, these Hellenic Royal Guard are going to be able to beat Bronze Shield pikemen, but Arcane does have the cavalry in the back. He's won the cav fight. These are 2 pretty much full units of noble blood cav, and he's getting flanking with these Pontic swords, while these pikes are just kind of held in the center. They're also taking slinger fire. You can see, here goes those javelins. And this unit of Hellenic Royal Guard's going to get caught in the back by Pontic swords. And that's pretty much going to spell the end of those guys. And over here, this fight got pretty chaotic pretty quickly. Once again, similar to the last flank, just through surrounding and using my javelins and a little bit of maneuvering with these pikemen, I was able to kill those elephant units and the majority of my opponent's cavalry. My opponent had better cavalry, but I'm actually going to leave this fight with 2 Carthaginian cavalry, although at like half strength, and also my noble cavalry as my general. I've still got 2 late Libyan hoplites as well. So, so far I've only really lost 3 units. 2 of them were Carthaginian cav, and 1 of them was a peltist. And my opponent has now lost his cavalry force, so I am going to press his center here. And he's just going to start running away. At this point, I'm just going to keep up the chase because he doesn't have anything that can effectively stop my army at this point. Back here you can see the flanking that Arcane got going on is actually going to win in this fight. Here his Pontic swords are cutting through these guys, meeting some resistance at the front, but doing very well here. And this unit of Hellenic Royal Guard is just surrounded, and there's some cavalry into the rear. So he has won this fight here, and at this point this pretty much guarantees victory for us because my infantry is all intact, and I can beat this opponent and he'll be coming over anyways, even if I couldn't. And my opponent's going to put his Eastern Spearmen into the square formation up here. This will help them a little bit actually. They're not a great unit, but I'm immediately getting some flanking with the Libyan infantry here, and my elephants are now running around this flank. You can see, I mean, my Libyan infantry are going to have no problem with these Eastern Spearmen, and this is where things are really going to go wrong for my opponent. Elephants to the back. Over here I've got my pikes and these late Libyan infantry. These guys are fighting these hoplites. It's not going to go that well for them. Here comes the elephants into the back, and they're just going to rack up the kills. That's going to be a mass rout there. My infantry, look at this, these Libyan infantry have lost 4 men, 9 men in that unit, and decent amount of losses here on this Gallic warrior actually. But my pikes are on the flank of this unit. I've got javelins firing into the rear of these mercenary hoplites. Now they're also firing a little bit at these noble horse archers, who's going to charge my noble cavalry, and that's a good move on their part. But at this point, his army's going to rout. So that's the end of that battle. Hope you all enjoyed that. A little bit different, fighting in a sandstorm there. You can see elephants there quickly getting almost 200 kills. All of my Libyan infantry for the most part. This one didn't do that much. You can see these guys, they lost pretty much nobody and killed over 100 men. This one killing 99. My late Libyan hoplites, honestly, these 2 units here, getting 26 and 57 kills. These guys don't cost much at all, and those kills were all on heavily armored units like these Eastern Cataphracts. That actually played a major part in helping me in that battle. And then my cavalry did decently for what it was up against. Of course, this one Libyan peltist routing with almost full strength was kind of disappointing. But you can see, I mean, my opponent spent a ton of money on these Eastern Cataphracts, and those numbers there are nowhere near what they needed to be for that unit to be worth that cost. His cavalry pretty much got shut down, even though it was the better cavalry force, and of course his main infantry did pretty much nothing there. I think had he pressed me at the beginning, it would have been a little bit more difficult. The question would have been, could these Eastern Spearmen have held long enough for the cavalry to do their work on my right flank? I think my main infantry might have cut through his central line too quickly for that to be effective, but maybe with the support of that other elephant unit, well, I didn't have anything nearby to fight it. Who knows, it could have ended up differently there. Can see Arcane also doing very well, getting 1,282 kills. His cavalry doing awesome skirmishers. Pretty much an all-around good match for him there. Both of our opponents' statistics about the same there. So once again, great game. Hope you guys enjoyed that. A little bit different, some interesting terrain and weather. And I will see you all next time with more. Thank you for watching.